Welcome to another episode of Kevin's Toy Box. I have officially taken over the channel with how many episodes I've been making in the past few days. But this episode marks our first official Transformers review. Legacy United Filch. I don't know. This is a very weird name and a very weird addition to the Transformers Legacy line. Filch is one of the more obscure Decepticons of robots in disguise. She's basically a giant robot bird that loves shiny objects. One of those Decepticons that was designed with the animal first and the Cybertronian afterwards. But the weird thing is, Filch is one of the few Decepticons that has a proper Cybertronian form. There are official images of this, but unfortunately, we didn't get to see this in favor of the show having her say, "Shiny." However, since we don't have many female Decepticons, Zainreborn decided to add her to the collection. Especially after he watched the reviews and found out what a good toy this is. Me personally though, I could have lived without it. I mean, if we were to get more Transformers, I'd say we need more Autobots. But what's done is done, and Filch is now free. Once she's free, don't forget to add those extra wingtips to her arms. And voila, the bird lady is ready to fly. Now comparing her to the limited renders we have of her robot mode, we can definitely see that it's not very screen accurate, but we can give it a pass considering that she doesn't use the robot mode much to begin with. But I still find it odd that out of all the Decepticons from Robots in Disguise, they went with Filch.
Not shiny.
Not the really popular ones like Quillfire, Steeljaw, Thunderhoof, Underbite, Fracture, or even Clampdown. Nope, they decided to go for the bird lady who's obsessed with shinies. Obviously, the idea behind this was that she had joined up with this group called the Star Raiders. A group of random characters from random Transformers universes, all teaming up to form a pirate squad under the leadership of, what was his name? Thundertron, the cancelled character from Transformers Prime. And I guess this was kind of the easiest character to do since it's just a remold of one of their old air razors. But I'll never forgive them for what they did to Night Strike. They made him a mini-con. The poor guy is one of the coolest Transformers in the show, and they made him tiny. They gave him the role of the pirate parrot. It's sad.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Of course, as I said earlier, none of this stops her from being a great toy. And now it's time to test out her articulation. Head can rotate in any direction you want it to. Arms can go up for a T-pose, as well as the elbows being able to move in lots of directions. Hands can also sort of move in a very odd motion. Wings can flap, of course, those are removable, so yeah. Waist can swivel in any direction. I think this one's backwards. And then the legs can move in all the directions you'd expect them to move, as well as the knee can move in different directions. And the feet have like multiple pegs. So like, yeah, lots of range of motion. Of course, this is all pretty standard for a Transformer toy. Being able to pose in many different poses is very important for some epic dioramas and playability. Legacy is basically Transformers Hammond Collection. Although Transformer has two, they also have the Studio series, and I think they're moving on to something new next year. But I got to say, when it comes to posing Transformers, there's a lot more variety than compared to the Hammond Collection. As for size comparisons, here she is next to Shadow Striker. I will say that since she is a deluxe character, she is a lot smaller than what we see in the show, but we don't see any problem with that. She doesn't need to be a giant woman. But here she is next to another previously reviewed Transformer, it's Prowl. And one of our first Legacy characters, it's Knockout, who looks nothing like his Prime counterpart. And here's Bumblebee Movie's Skywarp, who towers over her because he's a Voyager class. And one of our tallest Decepticons, Megatron, who's so tall you can't even see his head on screen. But since we mostly review Mattel dinosaur toys, here's an Atrociraptor so you can get a real sense of scale. So you can see she's small, but she's gonna get even shorter when she transforms. And I gotta say, this is one of the smoother transformations we've had. This one transforms without any issue whatsoever. And unlike the robot mode, this bird is spot on to what we see on screen. Although I have to complain, she looks too much like a bird. As you know, lizards are eaten by some birds, and I'm pretty sure she would try to eat me if she was bigger, which is why I'm glad she's a small bird. But as for her articulation in bird mode, we can start off by tilting her head, as well as nodding up and down slightly, which is quite nice. All the way down, in fact. And she can also open up her mouth to yell, "Shiny!" Her wings are super duper posable. There are so many segments for wing movement, and it just makes the wings just feel really nice to play around with. And then the tail flaps around a bit, and the feet are, well, they're the same feet, just in different positions, so of course she's gonna pose them well. And as I said earlier, this transformation makes her a lot shorter in comparison to the others. Even shorter than a Atrociraptor tiger. And of course, the posing options are endless with her. That's one advantage that Maximals and Predacons have over regular Cybertronians. Being able to articulate and pose in both Beast Mode and Robot Mode is very impressive. And as our only bird forber, I can say with confidence that this is gonna be a lot of fun to play with. I can only imagine what Zainreborn plans to do with her in Movies United. So even though it's an obscure character from a not-so-good show, and also being a bird, I'm really glad she came to the Legacy line. But what do I know? I'm just a random lizard on the internet. Goodbye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel and join the Zainreborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.